Hey, it's NPR's Book of the Day. I'm Andrew Limbong. I keep seeing this Apple commercial talking about something called Quitter's Day. Supposedly, it is the second Friday in January where people tend to give up on their New Year's resolutions. Now, if that does not describe you, if you are holding on strong, or you know what, even if you did quit but want to hop back on the horse again, today's interview is for you. It's with Katy Milkman, a behavioral economics expert who's written the book, How to Change: The Science of Getting from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. And in this interview with Here and Now's Jane Clayson, Milkman hears from different listeners and their resolution wins and losses, and talks about what exactly can help us stay on track. That's ahead.
This message comes from Schwab. At Schwab, how you invest is your choice, not theirs. That's why when it comes to managing your wealth, Schwab gives you more choices. You can invest and trade on your own. Plus, get advice and more comprehensive wealth solutions to help meet your unique needs. With award-winning service, low costs, and transparent advice, you can manage your wealth your way at Schwab. Visit schwab.com to learn more.
New year, new you. The start of a new year is a time for setting goals and resolutions. Maybe you want to exercise more, learn a new skill, or live a more sustainable life. Many of us set out determined to meet our New Year's resolutions. But as the year drags on, many people lose track and fail to reach those goals. So what's the secret to sticking to your New Year's resolutions? Katy Milkman has some ideas. She's a professor at the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School and author of the book, How to Change: The Science of Getting from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. Professor, welcome to Here and Now.
Thanks for having me.
So what's the purpose of a New Year's resolution? What do these resolutions represent for us?
Well, all of us have something in our lives that we could get a little better at, right? None of us are already perfect. And the new year is a moment, and it's one of many moments, but it's the best recognized, when we recognize on our calendar a new beginning. These new beginnings give us a sense of a breaking point and a clean slate, and they make us optimistic because we can say, last year or last week, I didn't accomplish XYZ thing that I hoped to, but now it's going to be different because new year, new me.
Well, there are a lot of people listening who think, well, you you have a goal and it lasts for a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks. I'm raising my hand here too. We struggle. So many people struggle to stick to our New Year's resolutions. It's hard. It's hard to keep motivated. It's not all about willpower, though, you write. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And first of all, I really appreciate you pointing out that many of us fail quickly, because that's the problem with New Year's resolutions or goals more generally, whether it's a fresh start on a Monday or after a birthday or at any other point in time. It's not enough to just say, I'm going to make a change. We actually need strategies to support success. And as you note, willpower is not enough. The reality is that if we don't enjoy the activity we need to engage in and day out to get to our goal, we quit because of present bias. We care more about the instant gratification and the experience. And so we have to focus on that. How do you make the experience of pursuing your goal something that's enjoyable if goal pursuit is going to require repeated engagement in some sort of challenging behavior, which most goals do. Not all, but
right.
Most.
So find satisfaction in the activity itself. That's what you're saying. So give me an example of that.
Not necessarily. Yeah, not necessarily. Sometimes you can't, right? Some activities may not be satisfying in and of themselves. Like, I find it not that fun and satisfying to do household chores, right? It's sort of hard to say, just find the satisfaction in scrubbing your floors. That may not be possible. So instead, there are strategies we can use. You can make that activity less of a chore by combining it with something you find tempting and enjoyable and will look forward to. So imagine you only let yourself binge watch your favorite TV show while you're on the treadmill at the gym.
Yep.
So if you can combine something that's a temptation with a goal that feels like a chore, you can change the nature of the activity so you actually look forward to it and will persist longer.
All right. Bundle the task with a temptation. All right. What's another strategy?
Yeah. Okay, great. So another strategy that can be really helpful for people is something called a commitment device. So say you want to exercise more regularly, you could create a commitment device that fines you if you don't do it. So you could say, I am going to penalize myself. I'm going to say I'm going to have to give $50 every week I don't go to the gym at least 3 times. I'm going to donate to an organization, maybe even one that I hate, and choose a referee. Maybe it's a trainer, maybe it's your partner or a friend who you asked to hold you to that commitment. And what research shows is actually that these are tremendously effective when we sort of set up constraints, boundaries, and fines for ourselves. That can be very motivating and can sort of bring forward the pain of failure in a way that makes it more salient and present in our mind.
Okay, those are two good strategies. We asked our listeners to share their experiences of New Year's resolutions that actually stuck. So I want to hear first from Elaine Berlinger of Glendale, Arizona. Here she is.
Past years, I remembered to bring my reusable bags while shopping or tried not to use a straw for my soft drinks. I have been able to continue these resolutions year after year, making them a part of my life.
So why do you think Elaine's resolutions stuck? Why did that work for her?
Well, I really like that they're so concrete and bounded, right? She didn't say, like, I made a resolution to get healthier or to be more environmentally conscious. She had really concrete actions, right? I'm going to stop using plastic straws. That's a really clear and defined goal. And that's the best kind of goal. Those are the ones we're most likely to be able to achieve. It's clear when you're going to have to act. Every time there's a drink, you're going to make a different choice. And so those are great goals. A lot of us set goals that are much too vague, and we don't think about, when will I do it? Where will I do it? How will I follow through? But when we get more into the details and make these really concrete goals, not I'm going to be an environmentalist, but I'm going to stop using plastic straws, the implementation becomes easier and more likely because the follow-through action steps are so clear.
Concrete and bounded. I like that. Here's another voice memo from our listener, Mary Linton in Dripping Springs, Texas, says she made a resolution going into 2024 to spend the entire year without drinking any alcohol. She says she was able to stick to her sobriety by leaning on her brothers for support. Here she is.
I have 3 brothers, and I've been in a text conversation throughout the year with them. Each of us has done various stints of sobriety, things like dry January previously. And so they checked in with me to see how I was doing. And I'm happy to say it's gotten easier and easier.
A good support system and accountability, right, Professor?
Absolutely. I love that example. And the research 100% backs the importance of having those kinds of social supports when you pursue your goals. We actually published a study just last year. I'm going to take you to the gym again. It's where we do a lot of our work on habits, where we showed that if you invite people to get paid for trying to come to the gym more regularly, and they have to sign up with a friend, and then we randomly assign some people to get their payment regardless of whether their friend showed up with them at the gym, and other people could only collect money for coming to the gym when they and their friend both showed up. We actually ended up with people going to the gym 35% more often when they had to go with a friend, even though that's a harder incentive to earn. It's completely counter to what standard economic models would predict. You'd say, incentivize the behavior you want. And what was going on there was accountability, and also actually it was fun. So harkening back to what we talked about before, when we pursue our goals with other people, we enjoy them more, and there's someone holding us accountable, and we're more successful. And I love that this is also an abstention goal, because a lot of the time we focus primarily on goals that involve doing something new, but sometimes we want to quit something, and social support can help with either kind of goal.
All right, when I throw in a couple more important things here, be consistent with the habit you talk about, be flexible with the routine, and set the bar low.
Great. Okay. Consistency is critical to habit formation. That's sort of where habits come from. You repeat the behavior so many times that it goes on autopilot. And if you think about learning a skill, right, learning the piano, which is something my kid is working on right now, we understand that requires practice. But actually, habits come from the same basic process of practicing them. And ideally, there's a reward. So there's something about the activity that you feel good about afterwards. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And you just repeat those behaviors as often as you can. And essentially, all the research shows that that's how we create these habits. And there's some really nice studies that show if you pay people to repeat a behavior, say 8 times, 10 times, that you can then stop paying them, and they'll keep doing those behaviors if they've been rewarded and they were intrinsically motivating.
So leave us with one tip or one personal example from your book, How to Change, that can be applied to our New Year's resolutions moving forward into the new year.
A key tip is to try to copy and paste strategies you've seen work for your friends. Simply doing a little research by asking your social network, how did you get that gym routine built? How did you learn Spanish? How did you become so masterful about meditating every day? What was it that worked for you? Can be a big help. And a lot of people don't think to do this, but copying and pasting other people's habits or other people's strategies for forming habits is a really effective tool. And part of why it works is you get that social support, but also you get insights that are ready-made for your exact situation.
Katy Milkman is a professor at the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School and author of the book, How to Change, the science of getting from where you are to where you want to be. Good ideas, Katy. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This message comes from Mint Mobile. From the gas pump to the grocery store, inflation is everywhere. So Mint Mobile is offering premium wireless starting at just $15 a month. To get your new phone plan for just $15, go to mintmobile.com/switch. This message comes from Warby Parker. What makes a great pair of glasses? At Warby Parker, it's all the invisible extras without the extra cost, like free adjustments for life. Find your pair at warbyparker.com or visit one of their hundreds of stores around the country. This message comes from Bombas. Socks, underwear, and T-shirts are the top 3 requested clothing items by people experiencing homelessness. Bombas makes all 3 and donates 1 item for every item purchased. Go to bombas.com/NPR and use code NPR for 20% off.